Hi Virgo, welcome to Mama Star X channel and welcome to your reading. So Virgo, right now it's a very cold day in Illinois, but we have clear skies with a beautiful moon. So it's not so bad, but it's definitely cold. And I'm just glad to be here reading for you and hopefully providing with the messages and the information that is going to open your mind and your heart. And I don't know, maybe change your perspective if you feel that you need to. There's a lot going on right now, Virgo. There's a lot going on in our realities right now. And based on planet configurations and behavior, we're going through a major cleanse. Major cleanse. And once we finish this portal on the 22nd of February, things are going to change very quickly. And I'm hoping for the better, especially for your sign, because when I checked astrology, it says that your seventh house of relationships is going to have a lot of activity, positive activity. So just hang in there, my friends. Things are going to be okay. You're going to be okay, Virgo. All right, Virgo. So what I did is I chose one card from the astrological oracle. And based on the card that came out, I asked to provide for additional information about this cycle. What are the things that you need to keep in mind during this cycle? Okay. And then I have tarots. The tarot cards cannot even talk. You know, sometimes my mouth goes one way and my head for another way, but hang in there. Hopefully by the end of the video, you'll get it. So I have the tarot cards on the table representing your energy and representing the energy that of the person that you have in mind. But I want you to keep something clear, Virgo, and in mind. That sometimes what we're feeling is different than what we're thinking. And usually what I notice is that tarot has a tendency to pick up your vibrations instead of what you may be thinking. So a lot of times we start hearing a reading and we say, no, that's not what I want to hear, because your mind is very selective. And when it wants to hear something that is going to make you feel good, it'll focus on a story that may not necessarily be true, but it's what's going to make you feel better. Because here's the thing, and this is where Spirit wants you to keep clear and remember. The purpose of your mind, apart from allowing you to hone in a particular situation, is also to protect your mechanism, your different operating systems. So if something is stressing you, no matter how insignificant it is for your mind, but is enough to stress your operating systems, your mind, as a response to protect all of those different systems, is to give you a story based on something that happened to you in the past that may help you calm down and settle down enough so that the systems can function properly. And here's the thing, sometimes the story that the mind gives you is not true. It's not reliable. It's not long term. But you believed it, and now you created expectations based on what you told yourself. And when those expectations are not working out for you, you got a problem. You got a problem. And that's the problem that can be represented by a 3 of Swords and a Five of Swords. This is in your heart and this is in your mind. You see what I mean? So we have Eight Swords here. And this is not like the card of the Eight of Swords that represents self-infliction, insecurities. Insecurities that come from within. These are concerns. These two cards, because this can talk about, well, this can talk about being concerned about something here that doesn't feel right in a way that can make you feel like you cannot trust the person, because your person could be either lying to you or deceiving you, or who knows. So now you have this combination going on that is changing the nature of your energy enough to close you down, to make you shut down and respond in a way that you need to protect yourself. Now, what I like here is that in your desires, you have the Ten of Wands. So it means that you have done quite a bit of work to get here and to know exactly what you want. And, you know, maybe you're trying to figure out if whatever is happening here between this person and you, you know, it's what you want, it's what you desire, because something is not right. Whatever is going on right now into your person, between your person and you, is not right. And here's why: you're looking back, you know, and probably looking into situations that you've had before. And here's where Spirit says, Virgo, remember, you're going through a life lesson. You're trying to learn something here, and maybe it's something that you already learned because it's repeated in different situations with different people. But there may be something that's still amiss, that your mind haven't been able to figure it out yet. And now you have the opportunity to do it. Because not until your mind gets it in a way that it frees you from insecurities and from doubts and from self-judgment and anger, resentment, confusion, you haven't reached that level where you can feel free. And you will continue to repeat the same situation. If it's not with this person, it's going to be with somebody else. But right now, you need to get it, because you're the Hierophant. And the Hierophant says that you've been already in this path for quite some time. You've gone through a lot of lessons. You have a lot of experiences. So now you got to master this. And it's not impossible. And you're doing a great job. Because here it shows that you have moments where your life can feel magical. There are epiphanies. There are different realizations. There is moments where you're like, oh my God, I can't believe I entered through that door. You know, feeling more connected, feeling synchronized, you know, noticing those little moments where you're in synchronicity with other people, with situations that feel really good. But then there's also moments where you feel like you are surrounded by thorns. You feel very uncertain because of the thorns. So Spirit says, in those moments, Virgo, take some deep breath and try not to make any decisions. It's not the time to force your way through trying to get to the light. It's the moment to relax yourself, go inside and pay attention. What is going on inside of you? Because when you feel relaxed, you will open yourself up to receive the information that you need. Spirit here is saying, you know, Virgo, You have planted a garden where you have many seeds that are blooming. And it can happen all at once. But just because one seed is not giving you the fruits that you desire in the way that you expected, it doesn't mean that the other ones won't. So a lot of times we can have 5 different things going on at once, and just because one is not working out is enough to close us down, to shut us down, to be open and receptive to the others. So, Spirit is saying, pay attention, because here you're dealing with somebody who in their heart, they're being represented by the King of Wands. And in their mind, they're being represented by the Queen of Cups. King and Queen. Fire and water. So this combination, we're talking about somebody who, holy moly, I mean, they're coming across as king and queen. Somebody who is showing their best colors with you. Somebody who is trying to impress you because they know that you're not just anybody. You're an empress. They can feel you. They can sense it. And then on the top of it, you're a Hierophant. An empress with the qualities of a Hierophant. So you're not just anybody. They know this, Virgo. So in the recent past, whatever exchanges you had, you helped this person see things about themselves that they couldn't see before and they might have been wanting to see. And you probably came through just, with your own light, your own thing, your own, you just charged through, and you were not trying to impress this person. Maybe what you were looking for is an opportunity to get to know somebody. But instead, you ended up impressing somebody and teaching someone things that they wanted to learn, or they wanted to understand, or, I don't know, like have epiphanies. And you were able to do that for them. So, of course, as a natural mechanism, defense mechanism, or maybe ego, who knows, right? Can be a combination of things. There's definitely a very strong connection here when somebody's showing up like that in their heart. So you might have triggered this fire in them. This could represent somebody with the fire sign, but no, you don't have to be a fire sign to be this way. So somebody here with a lot of fire, a lot of passion, and they can come across as somebody very sweet, soft-spoken, gentle, loving, supportive of you, and that can definitely make you feel an empress really good. But when this person, it's time for them to take action, they show up as a page, and that could be frustrating. That could be enough reasons, Virgo, to feel like, what's going on? Don't get it, right? That's because you're dealing with somebody who could either be younger than you, but it's not just that, because sometimes we can meet somebody younger and be very mature. We're definitely dealing with somebody who is divided in their energy. They have a 2 of Pentacles here, somebody who's juggling. And when you keep looking, well, you see this, and you're like, oh, okay, so somebody here is trapped. There are things going on in their lives that are making them feel trapped. And this can relate to family situation, or it could be about past relationships where they might have had children. So you could be dealing with somebody who in recent past, they left a relationship. They could have gone through a divorce or a separation where they still processing a lot of that, and they still feel very compromised or committed to fulfill their role in that separation, whatever that might be. I mean, you know better than I do. But it's someone who's definitely is trying to liberate themselves from a lot of their own insecurities and a lot of the challenges that they went through in that relationship or in that connection where they maybe didn't understand. And here you come with your light and your power and your knowledge and your knowing and your experiences, because you're experienced. Thinking that you found someone who can hold your fire, and instead you are opening them up in a way that it can make them feel insecure. It can make them feel shame, because you don't know, right? When you know somebody, even though you recognize their fire and you feel like there is a soul connection there, you don't know what that person has done before. But they do. And you come with your light and you come with your clarity. People can respond in that way, where they feel like too naked, and it's like, wait a minute, there are things that I'm not proud of, that I'm not ready to show you. I notice that in people when they're getting out of their light, when they're working. This is something I notice a lot, Virgo, that when somebody's working in their shadow side, the initial response in that process is to hide. It's like, I'm not ready to open up and put everything on the table. So you may be dealing with somebody here that it's like, wait a minute, you have this quality that it helps me open up and say things that I'm not used to saying, but this is not the norm for me. I'm not used to, be naked in front of anybody. But with you, there's no other way. So this can be threatening to this person. But all I can say is that ultimately, Virgo, your person is going to come back. I feel like you both are taking a break or a distance. You're sort of, like things are on pause. You might have made an agreement, had a conversation, or, where you made an agreement about working together or doing something together, where now there is a pause between the two of you. And you're kind of wondering, well, what's going on? Something doesn't feel right here. And Spirit is saying, yeah, there are things that are hidden because of, the energy of the moon. But don't worry, Virgo, because eventually you're going to know. So in the near future, Virgo, your page is coming back. They want a new opportunity. They're coming back. They may be thinking already about it. And this is somebody who maybe, out of the blue wants to send you a text, and maybe they're holding back. This is somebody who is making sure that you feel their energy and that you're around, because you might change your perspective. You may be busy in other things, although, you still think about this person. Otherwise, it wouldn't come out in your reading. But I feel like sometimes this person doesn't feel your energy, and they direct their energy to you to make sure that you're there, or to let you know that they're there, because somehow they may feel like you may pick up on that, like you can get it. So this person is coming back, and I feel like to you, while to you stability is important, to your person is clarity. So here we have two major arcanas defining intentions. You are the Empress, and you want to remain the Empress. So whatever happens to you, whatever life lessons you're learning, I'm still the Empress. I may for a bit lose. I may for a bit lose and feel ungrounded. I may lose my cool. I may lose my throne. But I'm getting better and bouncing back. I'm getting better as sustaining my power, because this is all about, you know, what we do to keep our power. Because a lot of times we give our power away and we don't even know it. And maybe this is a process that you have already gone through enough to know better, but there's always different ways or subtle ways of learning how to maintain our power, because in so many different ways that can be very subtle, we can give our power away. I feel like whatever space or whatever pause both of you have, it's helping this person catch up, get up to speed with what you know. I don't know, there's something about it here. I feel like, you know, it's like in the surface, things seem very quiet. It's just like the ocean. In the surface, everything can look beautiful, especially on a clear sky where there's no waves. But underneath, there's all of this stuff going on that sometimes we cannot see. I feel the same thing is happening here. But again, Spirit says, believe me, whatever you cannot see right now because of the effect of the moon, you will see later, because you're going in the right direction. We got to keep in mind that right now the moon is visiting Cancer and is going into Leo. We are also being affected by Pluto. So we're going through this purification process. We're going through a detox. And this experience, your experience right now, in the way your experience is unfolding, you will know at what level. Because you know better than anybody else the changes and the sacrifices that you've been making in your life in the last few years. You know what's repeated and what's not. You know how you feel. You know your insecurities. And this is the thing, Spirit says, not until you accept that you have an insecurity, you cannot change it. Not until you accept that you have a challenge, that challenge won't disappear. Because you live in a reality that not until you acknowledge something, you cannot change it. Because it's the only way that you can tell the universe that you want change. So you're dealing with somebody who juggles and they have divided themselves because they don't know any better. Because I feel that they don't want to lose you. I feel like, you know, you are an incredible opportunity in their lives and they don't want to lose you, but they don't also want to tell you everything. And part of it is because maybe they're ashamed. So ultimately, Virgo, in their intentions, they show up with the Hierophant and the and the World. In the World. And these are two major arcanas that are very powerful. In this particular deck, we see this all, which I think it represents you. I feel like this is how this person sees you, like the owl. So look into the owl medicine, okay? Because the owl medicine in Native American practice, I think, represents intuition, night vision, somebody with very strong psychic abilities. And you may seem to have something that your person wants or needs to learn or will benefit by being with you. In the beginning, you might have felt like, oh, here I found an incredible opportunity, and you told yourself a story that, you know, it was what you needed to know in that moment or to believe in order to settle down. But now that energy has changed. And, you know, this is not something that you were hoping to happen or to expect, but, and I'm not saying that this person doesn't have feelings for you. I feel like this person has, but they're bearing those feelings deep within themselves because There's too much going on in their life and they don't have what it takes right now to come through for you. Even though there are moments, when you're both together, they try to show up in that way to make you believe that they do. But they don't have what it takes, at least not in this cycle. I'm not saying that in the near future they may change, but in the near future, they close out a cycle here. Something gets completed. After that completion, you show up as a 3 of Wands, and they show up as the 8 of Wands. So we have Wands here saying that on your end, you open yourself up to newer opportunities, but you're still waiting. Some of you may end up waiting. Does it mean that you're going to sit down and all you're going to think about is when this person is going to come back? No. There's going to be different opportunities that you're going to be working with. And especially because the moon, after leaves Leo, is going to enter in Virgo and then in Libra. And I believe there are positions or astrological configurations that are going to be very beneficial for you, Virgo, when it comes to the 7th house, which is the house of relationship, Libra. So I feel like by the end of the month, in the beginning of March, the energy is going to shift, especially after we go through that, the 22nd, where it's going to mark Pluto's return. So I feel like, after the 22nd, maybe, by the end of the month, the 27th or the 28th, we're going to feel a shift. I have yet to do the portals for March and look a little bit better to, what those energies are going to be. But I feel like we're going to feel a shift. It's going to be very obvious. Of course, in the meantime, you got to remind yourself that if you have not made a point to understand the nature of your lesson with this person in a way that brings you peace, harmony, and balance, not imbalance, balance. Sometimes when I say that and balance, I sound like I'm saying imbalance. It's just my accent. So if you haven't reached, that level of awareness where you're like, oh, now I get why this happened to me, but also how I contributed to that situation, because look at what I learned, right? So transcending your own limitations and your own insecurities. If you didn't do that, if you didn't have the epiphanies or the revelations to help you understand why this is happening to you again, if this is a repetition, and then you will continue to have the same situations with different people. Just keep that in mind. Yup. It sucks, but this is what Spirit is saying here. So in a way, you have what it takes to learn it. The cards in the near future here are confirming that you will know. With this Sun card, it's like, this Empress is definitely moving the right way. You're going to know. But when you end up here in the 3 of Pentacles, I feel like some of you are definitely going to end up opening up to new opportunities. And it doesn't mean that maybe at some level you feel like maybe this person will come back and be more ready. And you never know, because in the way the energy is being purified, it could very well be that in this new cycle, you may end up having a person from the past come back with a whole new perspective, vibrating frequencies that are very different than what is being vibrated here. It could very well happen. But I feel like it is more important that you are understanding what you need to do in this process than what this person needs to do. Because everything that repeats in your life more than once It has to do with you. It relates to you, not to the other person. A lot of times we say, oh, why do I keep attracting this type of people? Yeah, why? What are you doing? What are you thinking? What are you feeling? If you have not understood the nature of that process, you will continue to attract the same people. And a lot of times we say, well, but I've changed a lot. I'm not the same person that I was before because now I value myself. Yes, but what are the feelings behind that self-worth? Are you coming from a place of understanding that it was a life lesson and that's the person that came to help you? Or is because now you feel self-empowered and God forbid if somebody's going to lie to you because you're not going to let them, right? You're coming out of protection, a protective mechanism. You're reacting. So I see you succeeding. The question is, do you see yourself succeeding? Do you trust yourself enough to succeed? Because this is not about getting what you want in the way you think it needs to happen. This is about attaining the greatest level of awareness as the Hierophant during this process. And you know that with time, of course, you'll get not what you want, but what you need. You're going to get all of it. So Virgo, I wish you the best of luck. Thank you for being here.